Hi, I'm Maddie Mitchell, and I'm going to teach you how to make rosemary milk tea, which is something that's really good to drink kind of in the morning when you need that energy, but coffees just won't do it for you anymore. And, well, coffee isn't necessarily the healthiest thing, and rosemary is. It's in the mint family, so let's get started. The things you'll need will be a sprig of fresh rosemary, some honey, a cup of milk, a saucepan, a stirry spoon, and a cool mug, specifically Star Wars. It has to be Star Wars or it won't work. You want to start by pouring the milk into the saucepan. I recommend using a slightly smaller saucepan, but this is the smallest one I have. Then taking your sprig and put it in the milk. Next, you'll want to bring the burner to a sort of high temperature so you can slowly bring the milk to a boil. As you can see, it's already starting to heat up. Probably won't take long. Fun fact, while we wait for it to boil, rosemary is a good insect repellent. Alright, as you can see, the milk has started to come to a boil. We don't really need it to be a hard boil. I'll just turn down the temperature and set my timer for 5 minutes. And this is the only hard part about this, is that you have to continuously stir this for the entire 5 minutes while it's simmering, or the milk will burn. Milk burns very easily, and you want a rosemary tea, not a smoke tea. Also, kind of word of warning, rosemary isn't necessarily, probably not the very first tea you'd want to drink, at least not for like a tea beginner, just because it's a very strong herbal tea, just because you steep it for so long, and rosemary is a very strong herb. It's possible to make rosemary tea just by steeping it in water. But if you want a lighter tea, also from the mint family, I would suggest peppermint, because peppermint is a very invasive plant. So it grows very fast like English ivy, and you can get a lot of it very quickly. And it makes for a really good tea that you can count on to be able to drink fresh and often. Okay, so 5 minutes has passed. I've taken the tea off of the heat, and I've rinsed out our measuring cup because I'm about to get out my strainer. Now, a strainer is 100% optional. That's why I didn't include it in the beginning of the video, because you could easily just take a fork, and it's not as fast, but you can take the rosemary out with a fork, but a strainer is optional and keeps things a little simple. Now, as you can see, the strainer is very big, so I'm going to hold it with this hand and slowly pour the tea through. Either way, the rosemary stuck to the bottom of the pan. Delicious, kind of bubbly, but that's okay. Milk tea. But we're not done yet. The next step is fairly easy. This just adds a little bit of sweetness to the tea to help you so that you're not just drinking straight up rosemary, which can be a little overwhelming for some people. Give it a second, it's getting to the bottom of the bottle. But just pour a little bit of honey in there, and you can just stir that with this spoon. Also, after putting the milk through the strainer, it creates some bubbles at the top, and all I had to do is scrape the bubbles off with the spoon. So just incorporate the honey, and it smells really good, I promise. So next you take your Star Wars mug that you totally didn't get from Disneyland, and you take your tea, and you just very carefully pour it in there so as to try and not create too many bubbles. It already is creating bubbles, but that's okay. The whole point of scripting up bubbles is just for presentation purposes, but a little bubbles never hurt anybody. It's like a little froth, a little extra, you know. It's like getting a root beer float and you get the bubbles at the top. It's great. And that's basically how you make rosemary tea, rosemary milk tea with honey in it. I'd never had a rosemary milk tea before. It's pretty good. It's like a kind of earthy coffee creamer or something. But that's it. Share the recipe with your friends if you want. It's a good way to start your day. Thank you for watching.